and their owners to understand that business is not just a sole proprietorship. Today is World AIDS Day. While the rate of those infected is dropping, the objective of the government is to stop new infections, new deaths, and also, most importantly, stop discrimination. The grand finals or finale of the African Women's Nations Cup is scheduled for Saturday at the Amadou Ahidjo Stadium. As you all know, those to flex their muscles are the indomitable Lionesses of Cameroon against the formidable Super Falcons of Nigeria. Those were the headlines. As I announced at the introduction of this newscast, circulation was seriously paralyzed today in Douala following traffic congestion provoked by a large pothole at the entrance of the Vuri Bridge dug by water from a broken pipe. Inhabitants of Bonaberi and other parts of the city had to spend several hours to cross the bridge, or those coming from Bunamusadi and elsewhere heading for the Douala Business District. For more on why Douala got into a standstill, we will be going to the story of Gladys Ambo, but the story of Gladys Ambo is not yet ready. But while waiting for it to be ready, we'll be going to the Southwest Province or Southwest region, where some students of some of the protesting University of Boya students who were arrested and detained earlier this week have been released. According to Ntarike Divine Jr., others are still held behind bars and may be set free today after they leave the office of the Boya State Council. Divine Tarike.
Confirmed reports from Cameroon's Southwest region indicate that a fraction of the scores of students arrested and dumped in custody following demonstrations Monday at the University of Boya have been freed. Others still in detention are expected to be presented before a state council today at the Boya Court of First Instance. Stern-looking security officers reportedly whisked off over 100 students to incarceration after they besieged the university's main administrative block to protest the imposition of 10,000 CFA francs as penalty for late registration, as well as demand the immediate disbursal of 50,000 CFA francs worth of presidential grants. Meantime, while lawyers in the FACO division have denounced the brutality employed by security officers in dealing with the situation, teachers' trade unionists have been multiplying calls for the security officers responsible for the, quote, barbaric molestation of the protesting students to be prosecuted. According to University of Boya Vice-Chancellor Dr. Nalova Lionga, the students who triggered the protests Monday were influenced by yet-to-be-uncovered individuals. Elsewhere, Anglophone teachers' trade unionists meeting in Bamenda Tuesday have expressed appreciation at government efforts to resolve an ongoing strike action aimed at protesting the, quote, invasion of schools in the English-speaking Northwest and Southwest by Francophone teachers and administrators. They have, however, warned that if Prime Minister Philemon Yang, who engaged a troubleshooting voyage to Bamenda at the weekend, fails to deliver on his promises, they would ask parents to recall their kids from boarding schools this Friday.
Well, we only hope that the authorities will have some sense there to release the students of the University of Boya who were rightfully protesting because they were being cheated. Now, today is International AIDS Day, and as the world celebrates this year's edition of World AIDS Day, the focus in Cameroon is to end new infections, new deaths related to HIV/AIDS, and most importantly, end discrimination. Meanwhile, the objective of UNAIDS is to end the pandemic by 2030. Details with Annette Ifeti Esome.
Today, December 1st, 2016 is observed worldwide as World AIDS Day under the theme Hands Up for HIV Prevention. Focus in Cameroon is on zero new infections, zero deaths linked to HIV, and zero discrimination. Reports hold new infections have decreased to 35% and deaths linked to AIDS to 41%. Cameroon is rated first country in the Central African states in terms of prevalence, which stands at 4.3%. UNAIDS Executive Director says the world is committed to the ongoing pandemic by 2030, and countries are increasingly working to stop transmission from mother to child. Since the start of the pandemic, 78 million people have been diagnosed with HIV. An estimated 35 million people have died from AIDS-related illnesses since it began. By June 2016, 18.2 million people had access to antiretroviral therapy. West and Central Africa is a major area of concern. 18% of the people live with HIV and patients lack access to treatment. Antiretroviral therapy has increased lifespan in high-income countries. 31% of people living with HIV are now over the age of 50. By the end of 2015, 36.7 million people were living with HIV and 2.1 million people were diagnosed same year.
Popular Italian musician Mauro Brito and his band have arrived Cameroon to commemorate World AIDS Day. They shall be performing at a special gala tomorrow evening organized by the Canal Foundation. Steve Foncam went to the Douala International Airport to welcome them, or was part of the group that went to welcome the Italian musician, and brought back this report.
Popular Italian singer and musician Mauro Brito and his band have finally arrived Cameroon through the Douala International Airport at 1 a.m. this Wednesday, November 30. The international Mauro Brito band, whose specialty is classical music and the promotion of Italian music, are on a world tour. In Cameroon for their second time, they have come to commemorate the World AIDS Day with Canal Foundation.
This
is our second time coming to Cameroon. We are delighted to be here with you for a fantastic gala come December 2. We are here for a gala commemorating the International AIDS Day. So I am waiting for you all, as well as my band, Simon, Diego and Sergio.
Sergio Zaguette.
Canal Foundation, the humanitarian arm of the group Canal, following a series of actions of goodwill carried across the nation's territory throughout the year in favor of the needy and especially HIV patients, have decided to organize on December 2nd a gala to commemorate the World AIDS Day. Represented by the founder and president, Madame Colette Chachwe, Canal Foundation shall disburse the funds raised during this gala night for the sensitization and support to the HIV patients. Worthy of note, this special event is put under the patronage of the Italian ambassador in Cameroon, Madame Samuela Isopi.
In the littoral province, and we wish, first of all, the Italian group here all the best. And also to the head of the Canal Foundation, Madame Chachwe. We'll be leaving the littoral province to the to the north, where the governor of the North region has launched a multimedia center and video conference in Garua in a bid to educate teachers and students on the dangers of HIV/AIDS. The social vaccine against AIDS is aimed at dropping the prevalence rate of HIV infections in the North region, which stands at 4.3%. For more, let's have the details of the report from Christelle Cartala.
The Chantal Biya International Reference Center has introduced the social vaccine against AIDS in Garwa North region, a region which is highly affected by HIV and other sexually transmitted infections. In Cameroon, the prevalence rate stands at 4.3%, while the transmission of AIDS from mother to child remains high. In a bid to overcome these gloomy figures, a multimedia and video conference center have just been inaugurated. The multimedia center we are just from launching is one of the work of Mrs. Chantal Biya to fight against AIDS. This is what distinguishes the First Lady. It should be noted that this is the second biggest center in the Republic, with high-performance computers, and our wish is that this equipment should be properly used in order to ameliorate the conditions of youth. Handouts were distributed to students and teachers on a preventive approach of the disease. The action was saluted by local elite. The prevalence rate of HIV/AIDS from mother to child remains high at the level of the country, which is something considerable. That is why we transmit messages and some indications that will help to prevent or drop the rate. This social vaccine demonstrates the will of the government to preserve the health of the youth.
While in the north, they are fighting to drop the rate of HIV infections. In the East Province, it is another problem. There, it is a high percentage of early marriages. That is the reason why Goodwill Ambassador Sally Nyolo has traveled to the eastern part of this country to educate parents, young boys and girls, and also primary school pupils on the dangers of early or child marriage. From Betua, Beatrice Ngamo has more.
Government Primary School Abobutila counts 318 pupils, of whom are 180 girls. The girls on daily basis are subjected to the pressures of early marriages. Veritable phenomenon in this locality, situated some 30 kilometers from Garwa Bulai, East region of Cameroon. The headmistress of the school, Sivi Otans Ndumbe, says it is a yearly phenomenon since she came to the school in 2007. Before the first term gets to the end, she added, so many girls have already dropped from school. This 13-year-old class 5 pupil called Elie Smith is one of the victims. They said I should get married, and I said no. The pressure is mostly from family, that is parents or guardians, and at times threats of being killed or cast deadly diseases push the girls into submission. Early marriage, child mothers, dangerous to the well-being of the girl child. It is this message and songs that UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador and artist Sally Nyolo carried to the kids. No to these traditions. I'm the fruit of my ambition, with the children responding, no, no, no.
Je dis non à cette tradition. Non, non, non. Non, 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 non.
Dialogue with pupils, school heads, and inquiring how the children spend time at home, part of her mission. Lessons well retained. I understood that we should not marry early. We should first go to school before marriage.
Je dis non à cette tradition. Non, non, non. Non, 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 non.
From yourself, it is not in Betua, but in a locality in the East region, nonetheless, called Abo Botia. And we leave the East region and we come back to the capital of Cameroon, that is Yaoundé, where a large consignment of illicit drugs were seized today at the Yaoundé Central Market. It is the result of an operation dubbed Alo Nkomo. This operation is aimed at stopping the sales of illicit goods in Yaoundé and elsewhere in the country. The third operation was carried out by the Cameroon Customs Department for the Central region. For more on today's big or major cash before Christmas Day, once again, details, this time around not from the East but from the Central region with Beatrice Ngamo.
thousands and thousands to develop interest in female football. The interest of female football will change. It's true that there was already an interest, but I think things will now move faster than before. We have to win this trophy so that at last we should talk female football, and that authorities should put in mind that with a local championship we can do and do better. The people have the Lionesses at heart, and the Lionesses are very much aware that winning and only winning on Saturday will put them into the history books of football of La République du Cameroon.
We are sorry for that mix-up. It does happen. You will be having this paper from Tabby Clarkson in our subsequent newscast. No, at the end of this news. But let me come once again. A large consignment of illicit drugs was today seized at the Yaoundé Central Market. The operation, dubbed Como Halo, was carried out by the Cameroon Customs Department. Once again, we have details with Beatrice Ngamo from Yaoundé.
A big catch this Thursday. Large containers of seized medications, drugs tagged as illicit.
Illicit goods are those who are not good for our well-being, for our consumption. Principally, those drugs that we have seized today are not authorized to be sold in our country.
Fruit of an early operation that started this 4:30 a.m. at the Yaoundé Central Market by customs officials.
We have visited around 3-4 warehouses, and all those goods have been thrown out to be transported to our local.
The operation, dubbed Herd Commis, to stop illicit trade here in Cameroon, has just one destination.
According to the custom law, when we see those kind of goods, we should seize them and destroy.
For the operators selling these illicit goods and medications, they will have to face the procedures in line with the regulations in place.
We have the EIG card here. Normally, there is a procedure, there is a penal procedure that will follow.
The goods, mostly from neighboring countries, are consumed highly in Cameroon. And so, the instruction from the Ministry of Finance through the Customs Department, working as relay with Health Ministry concerning drugs. The alert sign is on. Consumers are cautioned
to be careful when they are buying such goods, because they are not good for our health. They are not good because of the condition of detention, because of the condition of sale and transportation.
This operation, we're told, is all over the national territory, cleansing the country of goods tagged illicit.
Well, you know, Christmas is around, so it's time for bricks business, and you have to be very careful the type of products that you buy on our markets. And now back to Douala, where some experts from Germany have schooled businessmen in Cameroon on how to manage family businesses. Their aim is to give them, that is, owners of family businesses, training that will permit them or permit their businesses to outlive them. As you mostly know, as you know very well, in Cameroon, most founders of businesses, of family businesses, as you've seen around the country, do crumble when the proprietors die. Crystal Katala has more.
According to experts, the lifespan of family businesses in Cameroon is relatively short. A business lasts as long as its founder lives. In cases where the founder dies, the business stops to exist.
In
Cameroon, most of the time, after the death of the founder, the business falls in very critical situation. I can even reveal cases where, while they are still burying the founder, division have already started existing. Some employees, after a few months, already have the feelings that they will lose their job.
Ils sentent déjà qu'ils vont perdre bientôt leur emploi.
Germany, which is the first economic power in Europe, acknowledges its growth and economic stability thanks to family businesses. If some firms have been existing since 1530s and continue to prosper, it is thanks to good management.
Les entreprises d'aliments.
German companies are in the third and fourth generation, but in Africa, companies are still in the first generation. So we are here to transfer German expertise to Africa.
De l'Allemagne vers Afrique.
The objective of these experts from Germany is to transfer their know-how to Cameroon businessmen and give them necessary tools so that their businesses will not only last on long term, but will remain competitive.
The
problem we have here is a problem of mentality. When we create our businesses in the family and we don't have the necessary competence, that is the first factor. The second thing is when you choose a family member to assist you, the family does not integrate in the entrepreneurship.
Se faire accompagner, ces membres de la famille n'intègrent pas la notion d'entrepreneuriat.
The seminar on Cameroon and Germany entrepreneurship in Douala will also give new strategies to businessmen on how to manage family businesses.
Well, we only hope that family businesses in Cameroon will heed to the advice of the Germans or Europeans who have businesses that have lasted for more than 3 generations. And back here to Cameroon, and we'll be going back to Yaoundé, where Cameroon versus Nigeria, finals of 2016 African Women's Nations Cup is scheduled for Saturday at the Amadou Ahidjo Stadium. As we await the great showdown, some indomitable Lions players have been accessing the performances of the indomitable Lionesses. Why are they doing that? Tabby Clarkson has more.
The performance, or again the performances of the indomitable Lionesses during this year's African Cup of Nations have made Cameroonians to be proud again of belonging to a nation, that of the Republic of Cameroon. From east to west and from north to south, sons and daughters of the land are honored with what the Lionesses have done so far. Since several years, there is a progress. Today is just a normal follow-up of what they have been doing since long ago. We should not forget that these ladies were at the World Cup. When we play a World Cup, we inspire to win the African Cup of Nations. What seduces Cameroonians is most especially the technical and tactical display of Coach Enongacho and his girls. What the Lionesses are doing is already extraordinary. It gives me pleasure because it's football. It's not on a daily basis that we see a team that is calm, collective, a team that wants to win. It's also good that men should copy the example of women. Captain Christine Mani and her teammates have made hundreds and thousands to develop interest in female football. The interest of female football will change. It's true that there was already an interest, but I think things will now move faster than before. We have to win this trophy so that at last we should talk female football, and that authorities should put in mind that with a local championship we can do and do better. The people have the Lionesses at heart, and the Lionesses are very much aware that winning and only winning on Saturday will put them into the history books of football of La République du Cameroun.
Clarkson, in fact, La République du Cameroun indeed. Well, that was all we were able to put together today, the first day of December 2016. Before we go, we want to extend our greetings to our teaming viewers in the cities of Kumba, Bamenda, Boya, Victoria, and of course, Manfe. Tomorrow is another day, God willing.